Wayman was raised a Baptist. Yes, he was. You don't get oratory like that from the Church of England, I fucking tell you. Because in a way, Elvis was a bit like Jesus. Now this poster, oh, it's upside down. That's look at how shit Francesca's signature is. Look at that. Shocking. Shocking. We pay her fucking DNA as well. She has to sign it like that because she signed it properly, they'll take it off of her. Yeah. Here's another one, lady. Apparently there are premium seats. People who paid the this is the state of socialism in the 21st century. We've got a special VIP rate of pay that you pay, and then you get a free poster. Ooh, but the fun has only just begun for the people who pay, because if you stay afterwards, you get a free poster for your extra money that you paid, signed by us. And also, the evening has only just begun because a minibus will take you to Toll Puddle, where you'll hear a talk on capital accumulation from a lecturer from Hatfield College. There you go. So we've certainly moved on with Brandon and the level. Now, this is a very mixed bill. We've had music, we've had comedy, we have had soaring oratory, we now have some fantastic poetry. The next person performing has been on tour with John Cooper Clarke, legendary performance poet. Please welcome Claire Ferguson Walker.
That Jeremy was on there. Oh dear, goodness me, like a calming sorbet, I'd have felt incredibly quiet coming out after that last rebel-rousing speech. Yes, I'm here as a poet for my sins, or spoken word. I think it's sort of more trendy to call it these days, spoken word, or talking, as it's sometimes referred to. Yeah. Now, I've written a bespoke piece for this, the closest I've ever been to a commission. Bespoke piece, and I'm gonna do it on you lovely people, okay? So this is virgin outing. Unlike me, that ship sailed a long time ago and sunk and been dredged up. But enough about my love life. So I was wrestling with the title for this poem, because that's the kind of hard life I have as a poet, wrestling with titles, metaphors. It's a fucking nightmare. My husband comes in from work, and he's got the most sort of eco warrior type job ever. Helps small communities own their own wind turbine. Right on. And that's amazing. And I feel completely sort of, ridiculously nothing next to him in terms of my job validity. And he'll say, hi darling, how's your day? I'm like, oh, yeah. How's your day? It's like, oh, yeah, been spat at and had a death threat from an anti-wind turbine protester. What about your day? Actually, it's just been a nightmare and I don't think I can carry on. Nothing rhymes with orange. Actually, really doesn't. Seriously, porridge isn't close enough. I've tried. So anyway, on with the poetry. That's what I'm here to do. And what's what's that? It's a new word that I made up. I can do that. I'm a poet. Wrestling with the title, like an upgraded Britain. Thanks. But I wanted to make it personal to Jeremy Corbyn, because I'm a bit in love with him. And I'm just hoping that he gets to hear this. So, I thought maybe I'll write an ode to Jeremy Corbyn, but I thought I'd better do some research, actually find out what an ode actually is. So, I've done some research for this. Motherfuckers, research. A bit like this. Okay, Google. Define ode. That's as hardcore as my research has got. Actually, ode doesn't quite cut the mustard. So, Greated Britain, or a battle cry for Jeremy Corbyn, close brackets. And it goes a little something like this. Help for heroes, seduced into war. Their blood on the floor, a dark crimson tax on the poor. No one pulls wool over eyes anymore, that's a newspaper's job. Black and white blindfold, the media whore. Selling tits and terrorists, nothing shifts them more than flesh and hatred, like sex and gore. Hope is a scratch card offering more. What lies behind the silvery door? 3 4-leaf clovers this time, to be sure, to be sure. If the rubbing coin was flesh, it would have been rubbed red, raw, revealing mostly nothing but a tax on the poor. A few cans of Stella to dull the fella who can't pay his bills, whilst a little of the Lord's coke spills off the tit of a woman who saw that the only way to get ahead was to charge to give head. Not many little girls dream that their office will be a bed. And it's easy to breed hatred in those already hating, pointing manipulative fingers at immigrants, mating like rabbits in headlights, terrified, escaping, hoping for a rainbow of care breaking from a light shone through a crystal clear prism that exists outside the borders of racism. And dear David will say, we're all in it together! But I don't think he'll ever have to go to the trouble of picking his relatives out from some rubble. And even though our economy is heaving off the back of all the war-torn grieving, they know they need to be leaving enough of us poor, powerless confidence on the floor. Because if you're not rich, you're a scrounger, a failure, more likely to want to blame someone below you. And this world is shaped like a triangle, and those willing to rip babies apart to wrangle their way to the top are always looking for the right angle to tip the balance in their favour. If capitalism was a dish, then murder would be its flavour. Briefcase, nutcase, privileged born, Osborne, possibly subhuman, off for din-dins with Mr. Corporation to discuss a little tax haven that's been found for those who put breathing life below the pound. Not illegal, no! Just a little loophole shaped a bit like a noose to hang the masses who, heaven forfend, still have to pay their taxes. But there are diamonds in the rough, pressure pushed down just hard enough, voices that want the world to be more like a circle, a ring of change. Fairness in an unfair world looks strange, left of the mark, a stark contrast, agreed. And from this poem I'll soon be free, because it's been a nightmare finding a decent rhyme for Corbyn. Jeremy, you are the natural enemy to all the papers would have us believing is right, all their total misinformed shite. You are that ray of light and you're not unheard. There is a big movement, and I don't mean like a turd. Sorry about that, Bristol, likening us all to a shit. I don't mean a turd, and we won't be flushed or rushed or deterred. You are the principled word in a political sentence. 5 years seems like an age, and Jedi-like we must focus our righteous rage. Take centre stage, kindness must. It was as if he was in the room. That was Yoda, not Jeremy Corbyn. The war machine left to rust, and if Tories are like agents in this matrix, we'll labour the point that a top-heavy economy we can fix. And if love is feathers, then we just need more abundance to equal stone hearts weighing a ton. And like Neo freeing the people, Jeremy, you are the one!
Yeah.
Remember that I will reward you with a little sneaky G&T after the show for being so good. Do you know, it's amazing, it is genuinely amazing to be here, and oh dear, my mouth's drying up. It's terrible. Get that thing going on. I'll just stand and talk to you all like this. Hi, how are you? No, it's great. It's great to get behind something, you know, because frankly it takes you out of being up your own arse and worrying about your own shit. And it's true, but we do that, you know. Hear about first world problems, and we all do it, you know. But actually we are incredibly privileged, incredibly lucky people. And, you know, it's just amazing to be able to really do something and say something that matters and means something and takes you away from your own menial, mindless crap You know, I spend a lot of time worrying that I was taken off the tit too soon. And frankly, in the grand scheme of things, it just really doesn't matter. I am bitter. I'm going to do one last poem for you before you climax. I've seen him, he's hot. Hoping you got me a poppadom after the show. I'm going to do another poem now that's foul to do with politics, and everything to do with my life when I was about 17. And this is an ode, because my life really, it deserved an ode back then, okay? And it's called Drugs, or Ode to My 17-year-old Self. And it's a true story, this really happened. I was living in a small bedsit with no domestic skills whatsoever, and was just desperate to have sex with the boy, really, who lived, not boy, sorry, he was over the legal age of consent, I'd just like to say. We had a shared love of leaving the washing up. And I'd have just done anything to impress him, including smoking a bomb, when the hardest thing I'd had up until that point was probably a bit of sage or something like that. And it blew my fucking head off. So here's a poem called Drugs, or Ode to My 17-year-old Self. Many creatures display the desire to self-intoxicate, maybe just for its own sake, a sensory holiday, while the body can stay static if required. Fruit fermented, monkeys demented, soporific plants, rabbits in a trance, a hit from a bomb, me completely gone, desperate to look cool, a teenage fool with bells on, genetically tweaked, grown to freak out, dopamine levels releasing a devil's, a spluttering bout, I almost passed out, onto the armchair I had to hold to prevent a mental implode, cognitive receptors fired out the message to talk, and I managed. I've just got to walk back to my room now. Somehow leg muscles responded, feet first, head last, separated, inflated like some giant airship. Here now, back in bed, falling into the abyss where my head used to be, seeing a montage of every horror movie ever consumed. Freddy Krueger slicing at my flesh all the way back to Bambi's mother's death. Focusing in now on some bodily discomfort, small at first like a seed, soon watered, grown into a tree, bearing fruits of pure terror, ripe and ready to fall into complete parahypo-schizo disorder. I let out a scream, ah! Something like that. Primal and raw, ripped straight through my skin and to the core, and was also heard by my mate next door. He came round, mashed out of his mind. I insisted, I'm dying, and that he had to find a telephone and dial 999, and it actually happened. I was whisked away in a whirl of white fabric, glared at by nurses and heard doctors' curses. I insisted no substance inhalation had occurred, but my ginormous pupils did more than infer this was not the case. They screamed really loudly that I was off my face. Had this been the Dark Ages, I'd have had my skull trepanned 50 years into the future, shoved in a home and bedpanned. With his large hands to the table I was pinned, and after the examination, the diagnosis, trapped wind. It's really happened. My God. Where would I start explaining to my friends that I just needed to fart? A cerebral nightmare endured, and to think it could have been easily cured by the expulsion of gases from the region of nether. Did I tell them all? No. Of course, I never. A tale of grumbling appendix was concocted. Street cred is knocked down dead. One big full stop at the admission of a caged windy pop. Bristol, absolutely spankingly wonderful. I have nothing to sell but myself. So please come and say hello afterwards. It's been lovely to be here, and sorry for lowering the tone. It's a good warm-up for your next act. I think you might have heard of it. Anyway, good evening, lovely, lovely people. Goodbye. I'm scared to let go of this mic in case it